Do I call him Muhuni? His name sounds like Muhuni. Muhoozi is one of President Museveni's children, and he behaves like a Muhuni. As we speak now, he is the CDF of the Uganda People's Army, Uganda People's Defense Force. Listening to what his father talks about him, his father thinks that that is the most perfect kid ever born. But if I were to give Museveni advice, I would tell him that is the worst spoiled kid of a president, and it was the worst mistake to make him the CDF. But then we will come to that. He was born on 24th April 1974, and he went to school in Tanzania, and he also went to Nyeri. He went to Nyeri, a school called Mount Kenya Academy. Then later on, when the father took over in 1985. So that means that he was 11 years when he went to college. And that is why I say this is a Muhuni. Because the other time he was boasting of life in Riverside. How can he talk of life in Riverside when his father became the president when he was 11 or is it 12 years old? But anyway, he could also talk about Riverside because when the father became the president, uh, the buying property at Riverside would not be a challenge to the family. So maybe he's talking of Riverside when his father was already the president. But the kind of lives that they used to lead in Kenya is it is life for a gorilla. uh, you just see somebody, a CDF, a general, a four-star general, a son of the president, and you think he grew up with a silver spoon. He is not a Uhuru Kenyatta. He is a son of a gorilla. Because if you look at the places they used to stay in Nairobi when the father was still a gorilla, I know of two places. And as I've said, the third place, they may have bought that property because he's talking of remembering his life in Riverside. And if his father became the president when he was 11 years old, his father became the president in 1985 and he was born in 1974. So at best, he was 12 years. 12 years cannot talk about life in Riverside unless he's talking of life at Riverside after the father became the president. But Museveni, I know of two places where he used to stay and where even neighbors still remember him. Next to Kenya Science, not very far from Kenya Science, there is Jamhuri Estate. People still show the house that Museveni used to stay in. There is also another house at Wanye Road. Actually, not even Wanye Road. It is Wanye Close. Wanye Close, just next to a plot, one plot before you reach the Deliverance Church Solid Rock. That is where they used to stay. But if you compare the two places, the Jamhuri Estate place, they used to pay rent. They used to pay rent in Jamhuri Estate. So you can say that was the earlier place. But the Wanye Close place, the place is still even called kwa Museveni. The compound is nowadays you can either call it kwa Museveni or kwa Mutudho. If you know Mutudho who was at narcotics, it is alleged that Museveni sold the plot to Mutudho. The house is bigger. The house is self. There was even a time people used to pay rent to the Uganda house along in the CBD. There's a time they used to pay rent in the CBD Uganda house, but I'm told that it was later sold to Mutuzo. So that house is better than that one, and you can and it is built like a fort. It's built like a fort where people can lock themselves in case of security. I think that one is also understandable, bearing in mind that the owner was a gorilla of a neighboring country. Muhoozi has been doing, has been doing all the bad things, and the father does not seem to to learn. Uh, in fact, even the father goes to an extent of not only praising him and saying, "You see, the general has done a lot of things, good things. Now, this small thing is not the only. Is not. It should not make it that we should not. This a small problem. We should not look at it and forget there are a lot of good things that he has done, and those good things that he has done only exists between the 2 years of Yoweri Museveni. By the way, Yoweri is the name Joel, but in Bantu, in Luya we say Choeli, Choeli. But in his language they call it Yoweri Museveni, Kaguta Museveni. Now it is only Museveni who sees the good things that his son is doing. Imagine the son being head of one of the military arms, because Uganda has 3 arms. The CGS has 3 generals reporting to him. There is a lieutenant general who is in charge of the Uganda Air Force, and then there is also a lieutenant general in charge of Uganda Land Forces, and then there is the special force service, something like that, a paramilitary or something. They all report to the CDF. Now, when he was the head of the Ugandan Land Forces, he said that it would take him 2 weeks to overrun Nairobi. I think we should check his DNA. He's a son of a president, but not Museveni. Maybe a Kakwa president. Maybe he's because he may be biologically or DNA can prove he's Museveni's, but his kill is like that one of Idi Amin. So when he said that he would overrun Kenya and set up a resident in Riverside within 2 weeks, what did the father do? The father removed him from being the head of the land forces and made him senior presidential advisor for special projects, special operations. And that was 4th October 2022. 4th October. Now, he 2020, October is a month, yeah, a month and 1 week to 2023. He completed 2023, and then 2024, on 21st March 2024, that is, he stayed out for 14 months. He was brought back as the CDF. He was brought back as the CDF. Talk, hata hapo maneno imenishinda. Now he came back as a CDF. Now again, as we speak now, he likes this thing of misspeaking on Twitter. He likes misspeaking on tweets. Now he even went to a stage. You see, from Uganda, there is a new country that came. Sudan was cut into two, but he was talking of overrunning Khartoum. Now I don't know whether he will bypass South Sudan, or if he's talking of he's talking about flying over You know, there is either capturing the whole of South Sudan or flying over and then landing over in what do you call, flying over Khartoum, and then you find you are landing yourself over in Sudan. I don't know what he meant by that, but then he 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 doesn't care. After all, he has a father who is the president who will always defend him. It was now for the father to sweet talk it was now the father to sweet talk the Sudanese government. As if even before that story is forgotten, he's already out there. He's out there attacking his immediate deputy, General Luero, Lieutenant General Luero. Now it is funny. Okay, General Luero himself is not a saint as much, because General Luero has been indicted by ICC. They attacked one of the tribal kings in Uganda, ransacked the place, killed, is it over 100 people? So General Luero, when he was a brigadier, was not a good man. But again, he attacks him through tweets. Now, you know, military are trained in a very different way. That the person you'd report to immediately, you should not confront him. In the police service, you can go and tell your boss, sir, whatever you're doing or whatever you do is not allowed, so long as you are sure that your boss is wrong. But in military terms, you cannot respond back to your boss. What's more, the boss is the president's son. That is how it is. And then you find that he just kept quiet. And the way Muhoozi, is it Muhuni ama Muhoozi? Both. He's saying, you know, I can finish you, wewe kazi yako ni kwenda kujificha nyuma ya babangu. Such and such a thing. The last 3 minutes I'm going to tell you about, mark my word, the day Uganda will crumble, the way Museveni dynasty will crumble like cards, house of cards or something. Museveni has not learned from history. The best history is that one of Syria. At this date, last year, you'd not even imagine that Syria would, the Syrian government will fall that way. Just fell, and it is the Assad. First of all, it was Hafez al-Assad, then his son, Bashir al-Assad. You come to their neighbor here, Kinshasa. There was the Kabila dynasty. So, but what I'm seeing, I don't know. One thing I'm always seeing Museveni in every meeting he goes, he insists that people have to put on barakoa. Could he be having a medical problem? And you see, Corona taught us one thing. If you have an underlying medical condition and it gets you, you just go. Another thing is we have also learned from Moscow about how people can go to an extent of getting you wherever you were. Whatever happened in Moscow the other time, a bomb was exploding 4 kilometers from the Kremlin. So something like that would happen. And Museveni thinks that he has placed his son strategically so that when he dies, the son takes over. He even goes to boast publicly that he has already given out 40% of his property, and he has given out 40 and is remaining with 60. And once he dies, Muhoozi will have 61% and the others will have whatever. But I'm seeing a situation where, okay, there is the earthly property that they maintain, although if there is a revolution, I don't think whatever will be in Uganda they'll get. But those things that they have bought, like the riverside property and other places and whatever, that one will go. Definitely. But I'm not seeing Museveni being there for long. Watch this space.